Okay.
No, don't be
there
sorry.
you go. Okay.
Hi, I'm Nathalie. Welcome to Hyper Annotations. Again, we are here with Geert Lovink from Amsterdam, sort of, who is a media theorist and an internet critic. In the context of the Biennale, this is really interesting because we are trying to make sense of the mega exhibition as a platform, as an interface, and as something to discuss. So what brings you to Venice, Geert?
I'll speak tomorrow at an event organized by Liechtenstein. So I don't know my involvement with Liechtenstein. But yeah, it's Georg Schoenmacher from the Transit network. And together with Vladimir from Belgrade, they invited me to discuss the relationship between networks and visual arts tomorrow.
That's amazing. What is the relationship between networks and visual art?
Well, so far it's been very loose, and of course it's a dominant metaphor from the 1990s, which is now far behind us. We're 20, almost 30 years later. So I can't really say that we should historicize the role of networks, but yeah, maybe the impact on society has been felt, and we are now moving on from the decentralized nature of the networks to the centralized power of the platform. And so this is really, what happens in the internet and also in the visual arts. We see an incredible centralization happening, of course, of power, money and influence, but also of technologies.
So this is directly related to Benjamin Bratton's theory of the stack. Are you saying that?
Yeah, definitely. The stack is even a more Hegelian Überbegriff. So it's like a meta concept in that sense. Stack means that there are layers, and yeah, in my understanding of the stack, networks are one of those layers. And unfortunately not those who are anymore in charge. So they become less and less visible, less and less important, even though for people in their daily lives, they might think that they still deal with some people in a networked shape, but the technologies behind them have moved on since then.
You are in the process, we are in the process of seeing your book come out, the platform Sad by Design on platform nihilism, which is an incredible analysis of platforms and design of platforms and affect and how they shape, how networks shape how we feel. Could you tell us a little bit about the book?
Yeah, I have dealt before in my work with the affect or with emotions, of course. Psychoanalysis has always played an important role, but I think in the last 5 years or so, especially young generations, and in particular millennials and even more so Generation Z, is sensing the full impact on their moods, on their daily, their mentality, their way of working. I don't want to medicalize it, so my book is kind of a critique of the medical metaphors that we use, right? That are so predominant when we speak of this. Most of all, of course, addiction. And we condemn often the very young people that they're on their phones the whole time and that they can't get away. In this book I'm trying to really go much more on their side, but still study this phenomena, trying to get away from the moralism that is now so strongly attached to all the internet discourses, because we are fooled by fake news. We are addicted by behavioral modifications, and there's a growing sense of discomfort and discontent. Although we cannot really pinpoint, what exactly it is, and it is this vague sphere that I was trying to describe with this term "sad by design."
That's incredible. You haven't seen the exhibition at Arsenale yet, but a lot of the artists are from a generation, I think, that I've grown up with and seen, but who do, of course, have this relationship to technology, and the way the works are presented is actually a really interesting sort of capsule of how we are behaving with our tools and how it impacts us societally and behaviorally and morally, if I want to say.
Yeah, I encourage that, of course, and I'm very curious. I'm going to see those works, and I'm very glad, but maybe there's also a lot of reasons to be sad, because in fact those works, those exhibitions should have happened over the last decades or so. And it's really a question of why is visual arts the last one to deal with this, right? And why is there any expectation of an avant-garde, right? It's completely gone, right? Why is the art the last one to deal with technology? It is an outrage. But look at the schools, look at the education. We know that even in late 90s and early 2000s, in general, art students were more tech savvy. They had better understandings, even though at the time all the art education was completely ignorant. However, in the last 15 years, we see that the awareness of it, and I'm teaching all the time, in art schools and summer schools and everywhere, right? And this is really a great concern, because it's now very dominant in society. However, in the art world, it just seems like a marginal phenomena, even though for young artists, of course, it's what they use, right? How can they not make artworks that are digital? How can they not do research? How can they not produce visual materials without that, right? It's impossible. However, the art world in itself is deeply, deeply suspicious and ignorant, and reduces the phenomena to some nice pictures on Instagram made by some influencers, right? It is this kind of reduction of the question of technology to social media as marketing that is an outrage, and that's what you see here in Venice. In fact, happening everywhere, right? Everyone's on their phone, but there seems to be no connection to the artwork and the art world in general, right? I'm talking about the critics, I'm talking about the collectors, I'm talking about the magazines, the curators. The whole art system is deeply ignorant and provincial when it comes to these matters.
Let's go see the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.